Hello everybody, my name is Marco Bagnoli and today we talk about why commercials feel so alive. When you're shooting a lifestyle commercial, it's always about telling the audience something is happening, something exciting is happening. And there are a lot of ways to do it, and after watching this video you should be able to shoot something like this. This is the first shot of this Pepsi commercial, and as you can see we start with a nice deep color contrast. I'll talk a lot about this. As you can see we have in the background this deep blue colors, and in the foreground these warm tones from the candles. And when you do something like this, a lot of people try to do it in color grading, but color grading is the last step you do. You have to light and prepare the people on set for it, because when you try to get this look and the colors are mostly reds and greens, the look wouldn't not happen. So we have to think about it. So this guy wears blue shirt, these guys are wearing more deep orange toned down colors, like this pizza candle thing here. So, but most important thing is your light motivation. So where does this warm light come from? And it's obvious from these candles, but it's not. Maybe a day you could do it with a Venice or an FX3 to boost your light levels, that every one of these people get a nice exposure. But this is very difficult, because when you do it like this, the background also gets brighter. And it's a lot more difficult to get this background with such a high ISO back down. So what do? You expose always for the brightness of the background you want. So you put down your camera and put your ISO, your aperture and 100-degree shutter angle, and then expose with your ND for this exposure that you want. Then you put the people in the scene, and as you can see, the light is coming from here, but this is way too clean. With only the candles, the shadows should go up her face, but it's not. What they probably did is put here around the frame, close to the candles, maybe 2 asteras or 1 light mat. These light mats or asteras give our actors a nicer fill and doesn't make them look spooky. And what you also see is these people are not getting any backlights. I talk a lot about it, that in modern cinematography and a lot of commercial, you don't see edge lights as often as it used to be, because sometimes it just need to be there. The edge light gives sometimes a very unnatural look. So because the backlight is nothing you see in real life, so sometimes it supports the look you want if you don't use it. But as you can see, the next thing is, how do I get this deep blue color in the background? It's actually pretty easy. You need, again, a motivation, like these boxes of audio, which give a little bit of tint in the room, and you can put your RGB light and just blast it into the ceiling. As you can see, we have a little bit of a gradient on the wall. That means the light coming from down there. The background, everything looks real here. But what most of these commercials would do, if you have the budget, is green screen the background and put whatever you want in there. But I think here they didn't done it, because it looks very natural. This is the next shot with the product in their hand, and as you can see, let me quickly change this. Yeah, as you can see, the light is still coming from down here. So it's not like they used a China ball maybe for here. No, they definitely light from the pizza upwards. And what's so special about this frame? The wide angle lens. What we have here is mostly like 12 or 10 millimeters on a full frame camera. So it's often the debate, APS-C or full frame. A lot of people argument with, yeah, most of the best movies are shot on Super 35. That's right. But if you can choose, there is no reason to shoot not full frame. Because on a full frame sensor, you can always, with the inbuilt crop, choose the Super 35. So the Super 35 sensor, in my opinion, just limits your work. Because with a full frame sensor, you have a lot more to choose from. Also, the argument is a little bit off, because a lot of more famous movies are shot on film, which even has a larger sensor. So this argument is not relevant, I think. But at the end of the day, shoot with whatever you have or whatever you want. That's really the last thing you should think about it. When you want this look, then you have to choose full frame. because there is not really that wide of lenses for APS-C to get a similar look, which are not really weird off-brand lenses, which gives you really weird colors or contrast. So like I said before, this is the motivation. Camera is put here, so we get this really dynamic feeling that we are going into the scene. And which also helps is, I talk a lot about, is the wide angle feel is something you don't see in real life. When you're shooting an ad, you always want to make it feel like a something special, something that people wouldn't normally see. And that's the wide angle look. In this outdoor scene, it's a pretty natural look, and I think the park they used is something not that special for a Pepsi commercial. I think a lot of you people have a park like this, something in your area, somewhere in your area. But what did they do to make it a little bit more special? As you can see, look at the clothes. Always look at these nice blue colors in combination with this nice yellow blanket on the ground. This gives you a little bit of color contrast. The image pops more. If all those people have white tees and black trousers, the image would feel dead. I always tell my actors, leave your black clothes at home. We don't need it. This is something people should watch and enjoy. I don't want to see black and white clothing. So it's something like this with the texture is nice, but not pure white. Our sensors hate pure white and black. So how do you shoot a scene like that? This could be real, but on a production like this, I don't think they shot it real, because the first thing I would do is put the contrast of the scene down. So I would put a big, maybe 20 by 20, depends on the area, above them. So the exposure from then gets down. And then you can, with big lights, really the most powerful ones that you can buy, shoot through butterfly and give them a light direction. As you can see, it really looks lit. This is, in my opinion, not natural light. When it's natural light, which most of the people would do, you really have to time the time of the day, because the sun has to be on shots like this on this height, so close to golden hour, so that we get nice long shadows and contrast that we can diffuse to get a little bit more creamier look. But this looks really punchy and that sharp. And as you can see, this obviously gives us the hint. The exposure on his face shouldn't be that bright when the sun is coming from here. That means they shot another light from here to him to let him a bit more pop. Also here, as you can see, the light on her face is clearly from this side, but we have the light on the ground that's clearly coming from this side. So when you're analyzing shots like this, always look for where's the hard light coming from in the background, and then you can tell if they lit the scene or it's natural light. Because here the light does funny things. Here a short tip for a top shot. Always light when you have a top shot. You don't blast lights in front of the pizza. You always light really soft from the side, so you get longer shadows. And then when you get a lot of contrast, you just put another light on the ceiling, maybe in an aperture spot, so you can control it a little bit more to fill in the shadows. And there is where you can choose if you want it more contrasty or a little bit more flat, like here, which is more the mood if you do a funny little lifestyle food commercial. The next shot I show you is this bar scene, but I will link you a breakdown from the scene in the description, because they already did one. And the only thing I want to tell you, because they show most of the things, is this light right here. A lot of people will say, we cannot do this. The light, we see the light, the audience can see the light. This is clearly black wrap around it. Also here, it will break the illusion. Will not, because not all people are filmmakers. They don't care, they don't know what an Astera is, they don't know what an aperture is, they don't think about lights at all. Not 1 second about in their life. What are people looking at is this. They're looking, people, emotions. They're not looking at, is this an ADC or something similar with a spot mount? No, they're looking at the most important thing in the shot, the people that you're trying to show. So when you don't have something like here that it clearly says it's big red light where the writes down aperture, that's stupid. But if you can hide it a little bit and it's a scenery where lamps are normal, no one will care, I can guarantee you. The only people that care are your customer, but when they're on the level that they understand it, you have a lot of less headache on set. Because this shot wouldn't happen if they really cared about, oh, this is clearly a film lamp. So don't be that person. This is the last shot I want to talk about. Quick rundown. Also here, nice color contrast. You have this cool atmosphere in the background. When doing large spaces like that on daylight, I think haze is a nice tool to fill in this emptiness. Without the haze, it would really feel like an empty room where you've done nothing. But what's more important about when you haze something is don't haze the whole room, only haze the atmosphere in the background. Because we want to fill the background and not lose contrast on our actor. This will look cheap and it's not the look we are going for. Also here, blue in the background, warmer colors in the foreground. A nice color contrast that you've done without any bit of grading. You could easily just choose a colder white balance here and a warmer for her, and now you're done. Everything comes together with the clothes and everything else. So if you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate a subscription from you. My name is Marco Bagnoli and I'll see you next time.